Now, people say don't panic. Okay, guys, so update. So we know the port strike has, the time you've seen this video, the port strike has ended for now. It's been suspended and placed on pause until January. Someone told me that it was January the 18th or something like that. But it's just been suspended. So we still need to be cautious and mindful of how we're moving out here, especially as truck drivers. Slow freight, that means slow loads, slow money, a lapse in money. So we still have to be cautious about how we move and how we do things. But that still reiterates the fact that automation in some jobs are definitely coming. Now, a lot of people say for the trucking industry that automation is coming. I think it's far off, and this is the reason why. Not because it's impossible. It's definitely not impossible. It's definitely doable. I think it's far off because companies need to find out a way to not be held liable, because things can come up and happen, and they got to figure out the insurance in the legal portion of it to make sure that they don't be held liable and they're not going to lose millions of dollars if some accident happens. I think that's the only thing that's preventing trucking from going into full automation quickly. Now, I think just making the whole industry fully automated, such as trucking, is going to be a little bit more complicated. It's the same reason why I feel like we don't have a bunch of automated cars on the road. It's just not that, it's not as easily automated as something like what goes on shipping ports. But I still think it's super important that we all really think about how we can take care of ourselves and our families outside of solely relying upon an employer or a job or the possibility of Social Security income coming in when you retire. And it's hard. It's definitely a struggle, you guys. And I definitely understand why a lot of people just don't want to think about it and don't even want to even try to deal with it, because it's a huge mountain. But I think it's important that we all chip away at that mountain just a little bit at a time. And this port strike, for a lot of us, is a little more eye-opening. It's a little more at home. It's a little more at your front door, how it's going to affect you immediately. So anyway, y'all, enjoy the rest of this video, and I will, check out the rest of this video. Hey, y'all, what's up? We've got to talk about this port strike. And this is pretty serious. This is pretty big. Let's talk about what this port strike means for our current economy and for blue-collar workers overall, okay? So right now, if you've been living deep under a rock, you may not know what's going on with the port strike. So let's do a debriefing on that. The ILA union workers, that are the port workers, they are on strike. And if they are on strike, then shipments and things that come in containers will not be processed. If shipments on containers are not processed, then goods that go out to the stores will be hindered and will be delayed. That also will cause truck drivers who transport these goods across the country to have some setbacks. Now, if you're picking up goods from the West Coast, bringing it east, you'll be fine. But a lot of the ports are along the East Coast. Okay, so because of the port strike and the delay in containers and things like that being processed, truck drivers will see a delay in processing goods across the country from the East Coast. There are several ports along the East Coast. I don't want to get into naming them and be wrong, but I think I've heard of at least 3 different ports off of the East Coast that this will affect. There could be more. But however, this is the issue with this. This is why I'm making this video, because considering the current economy that we have right now, we literally, maybe just 2 months ago, saw some of the prices in the grocery stores coming down. I mean, like, just barely coming down. And for me, it was a sense of relief, a sigh of relief. Like, okay, cool. I can possibly start trying to save money for emergencies and things like that. I own my own home. Well, my husband and I own our own home. And our home is a little bit of an older home because we want to keep the monthly payment on it low. That's kind of laughable at this point, because how much money we have to constantly put into this house is like, there went that idea. But so that's expensive. It scares me to not have money in savings because of that. Money in savings for car repairs. Just, you want to have something, a little cushion. But with how the economy has been, there's been no cushion. It's like as soon as money comes in, it goes right back out the door. And now that we're having this, even a few days of them being on strike, it pushes deliveries out further and further. So what's going to happen is, what they're saying is that the companies that have the containers, they're going to start charging surcharges on their containers for them to, just because they're just sitting there. So that's going to add to the increased cost on goods. It's going to also, because demand for certain goods are going to be super high, that's going to increase the price, because some goods are going to start going bad, and they're going to have to start getting rid of, offloading things, just trashing certain goods. Oh gosh. And all right, the struggles in trying to make one video. The prices in our grocery stores are going to increase. A lot of things that you want to order are going to be delayed. Now, people say don't panic, and don't panic, because it's actually just going to exacerbate the problem if everyone starts to panic. However, you need to be smart about how you're doing things. You need to understand that certain things that you're wanting to order there going to be delays. Now, some of the things that are already in like certain warehouses, like for instance, Amazon, they have a lot of warehouses in the United States where just trucks can move things back and forth. So some things like that probably won't be a big issue to get for the next couple of months. You may not see too big of an issue. Now, some stores and some places choose to hold some stock items back. I've already seen Walmart doing it. They'll start pulling some stock items back and holding them because they're going to start rationing things out. Amazon, they have their warehouses, and they may decide to hold some things back, especially like essential items. So you may see some issues there. I think if you're the type of person that orders off of Temu and Shein like I do, probably right now is not the best time to order from them, because they definitely come through the main ports like that, and I can see you not being able to get some stuff from them. But we're going to feel a little bit of a pinch, even though it's only been today while I'm making this video, it's like day 3. There's going to be a little bit of a delay in a pinch, because think about it. If they do go back to work, they have to catch up on what's already not been done. So there's a delay. So there's going to be a little bit of delay even right now. Now, if the delay goes out, what they're saying is, if the delay goes out a week or 2, you're going to start seeing delays from November out into the new year and getting certain goods and things processed. And even with that, the prices of things are going to go up. Now, another thing I thought about that could, that I think is more likely or possibly an issue, if they have fuel and things like that comes through those ports, they may cause us to have an increase in our gas prices. And so I think it's almost impossible to not feel a little bit of a pinch from this port strike. So my point of that is that it kind of exacerbates a struggling economy. We already can't pay for things. We already having a lot of stress and drama about trying to take care of our regular bills and just regular stuff. Like my light bill has literally doubled. No explanation why. Um, so just imagining now what already I'm dealing with, that increasing on top of what I've already been struggling to handle and manage on my own. Now it will increase even higher, even more. So, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not saying that to say that, oh, we need to be like them port workers. They need to get their butts back to work and quit trying to negotiate. Not at all, because if you get to a point where you need to negotiate, which they say they do this every 6 years. So, and they tried to negotiate before the strike actually happened. So we can't just blame the port workers. The people who they are working for, they knew this was coming. So them trying to work out a deal ahead of time is also their fault as well. We can't just blame the port work, the people that are striking, because it wasn't just them that's at fault for what we're all experiencing. So I see a lot of people taking that attitude towards like, oh, them people striking, they need to understand the stress that they're putting the country under. Well, the people that they work for know that every 6 years they go up to renegotiate their contracts. It's just as much as their fault as it is the people that are striking. So there's that. But it brings me to something else that I thought about, and I was just like, man, just thinking about my own position as being a truck driver, and just being in other job fields and things like that too, is just like the need to be able to secure my own financial have my own financial security is super important. It's like dire at this point. It's like I need a way to make sure that, yeah, if I want to just work a job for like a little bit of extra money or cushion, and that's really what I would like for a job to be something where it's like, oh, I do it for a little extra money. It's not I would not want, and I know some people might think this sounds crazy, but I would not want a job to be my only source of income. Because of all the things that we are seeing going on currently now, and the things that have happened in the history and with workforces and labor forces and all different things that has happened, you want to have income coming into your life that's recession proof, that's depression proof. Oh, and that brings me to another point, something else I want to talk about. But that's what you want to do. You want to have your own method of earning income that does not rely solely on a job. And I think that's why I'm so passionate, and I feel such a great sense of urgency into building my own business, my own thing that generates income for me. So I know that regardless of what's going on in the economy, I have some way to make sure I'm able to take care of myself, take care of my family, take care of my personal needs, you know. So I want to bring this other thing up. A lot of people don't want to talk about a recession and a depression. And I know they have not said officially that we're in a recession, but it's one of those things like it's obvious we're in a recession. Like, come on, please, bye. But I want to talk to you. I want to give you guys what a depression is. And I know a lot of people shy away from this topic, but I want to share with you what the definition of a depression is, and how I feel like it's not unlikely. Okay. So this is from Google. It says it's an AI overview. AI overview on Google. It takes a bunch of different articles, some different sources, and it puts a little summary together. So here's the AI overview. An economic depression is a prolonged period of significant economic decline that's usually worse than a recession. Definition: a depression is a severe recession that lasts for multiple years and can affect the global economy. Signs of a depression: a depression is characterized by a sharp decline in GDP, high unemployment, which that also comes into the whole reason why the port workers are on strike, because they're trying to secure their ability to keep their job and not have their job going to automation. That's something I forgot to bring up before, but they're trying to avoid automation. So high unemployment, which if you all have seen the job markets in these reports, I think, are purposely being skewed into a positive light versus what we're actually seeing in the media from real people on different social media sites. You see that people are talking about how hard it is to get a job, and people are not asking for ridiculous things. People are putting hundreds of applications and hearing nothing back. They're going on interviews, not hearing anything back. And people are going long periods without finding work. I know someone personally that is a hard worker, has a lot of experience. They're not overreaching, trying to get some job that they don't qualify. They're not underreaching where they're overqualified. And they're just going for a job within their field and within their skill set. And it's like been months, and they're putting in hundreds of applications. They're literally out there beating the pavement trying to find work, and it's been months. Okay. So, high unemployment, a drop in consumer confidence, a decrease in corporate investment, a reduction in production by manufacturers, a rise in personal and business bankruptcies. Now, you guys, this is the definition of a depression and the signs of a depression. Okay, now they're talking about causes. A depression can be caused by a combination of factors such as economic contraction. Okay. That's where the ability to expand in different industries and things like that are being shrunk. And I think right now we're seeing it's more of a labor force is being shrunk. There's a lot of things that are going to automation. People are using a lot of AI things. And I know people say like AI is like this far off thing. No, this is something that people in companies and businesses are investing heavily in, and they're moving forward with it. Okay. Another cause of a depression can be war, unsustainable business practices, political upheaval. We got to hope that we don't have too much of that. Natural disasters like pandemics and droughts. Now, we just came out of the pandemic, and we're definitely dealing with a lot of natural disasters along the coastlines, which we just had Hurricane Helene that just destroyed a bunch of things and left. My heart goes out to those people. There's so many people that have been displaced and missing. And there's a lot of things that are goods and things like that comes out of these coastlines. And that has been greatly crippled, okay, for the time being. So I brought up the idea of depression because I feel like there's not enough real talk out there about what is going on. Like, people are not being transparent, and they're not keeping it real. And a lot of times they're not keeping it real is because it's an election cycle. So they don't want to really get into the meat and potatoes of what's really going on, because they want to talk about little surface issues and get us all riled up to talk about little goofy stuff that they keep bringing up that has nothing to do with the fact that people are not finding work. People are being laid off. People are having a hard time paying for groceries. People are having an impossible time trying to pay their rent and mortgage payments. Car payments are pretty much people's mortgage payments now. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous out here right now. And these politicians, they do not want to get into that because they know this is a hot ass mess right now, and they do not want to get into these topics. So I'm bringing it up because I think we need to really start keeping an eye out on what's going on, being a little bit more aware, and start really thinking about what is my next move, because I feel passionate that none of us should be relying on a job to take care of us. I mean, none of us. I don't care what you do. Do not rely on your job to take care of you. Figure out something for yourself that you can develop for yourself, skill sets that you can develop, skills that you already have, put them out there so other people know, and you can market it and create a little extra income on. Possibly if you play your cards right, you could use it to replace your income, and you work because you want to, or you just feel like working a particular job, or you trying to work a job because you just want extra money, but you got your income solidified outside of a job. That's my dream. That's what I'm trying to, that's me. That's what I'm trying to work towards, because I do not like the idea of a job being able to completely disrupt my life if they choose to do so. I mean, look around. I don't think it's a good idea for any of us to be doing that. Anyway, y'all, that's enough for me. I'm about to get on the road and get this load done, and I will talk to you guys later. Y'all stay safe out there. Play it smart. Don't go crazy panic buying, but do get your essentials and, just play it smart out here. That's all I can tell you. All right, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye for now.